JPL Indonesia. When he was playing, that was Udil's signature pick too.
Well, either way, it's game number 1 here in Land of Dawn. We're going to jump in. Tournament lives, of course, on the line in the single elimination bracket, the match. The last team that wins this will be one of the last 4 to proceed on to the next few days here as we finalize the MSC 2024 at EWC. And now taking a look at things, of course, the Nolan in the hands of Hades here hasn't popped up too much. Nolan has been a little bit slept on lately, but look at this aggression already on the top side. And that's the thing too, man, the Kaja. The Kaja played such a big role in the matches that we saw even yesterday, being a key component for a lot of the teams winning. And so far, a lot of this early poking already coming down. Okay, GB just gets on out of there. And yeah, you know, looking at the lineup too over here for Homeboys, got the Warcry emblem, of course, for Chibi to roll around with this Hayabusa.
Wow.
And I think that's the same thing, man. The Xavier is another pick that has been sort of niche for some teams.
But it's been doing really good. I think even in the wild card, every time we saw a Xavier, it was able to get to its item power spikes relatively quickly. And in these, you know, Pete Brennan was what, 12?
Okay, yeah, that's going to skew the stats a little bit here. But we're jumping back into the game, of course, very early on, a minute and a half in, game number 1 of this best of 5. Nothing too crazy, of course. You know, we got some, we got just the boots completed pretty much for both of them, the mid lane mages here. You can already see some pressure being applied if they can find a pick off in the mid lane. Oh, JPL.
Shadow kill onto JPL. First blood over to Homeboys with a great gank with that quad shadow.
Yep, that's the pressure I was talking about. You know, I spotted them there and I was like, all right, they're going to go for a play. The level 4 was available. And with that, you know, Turtle now comes up. So I'm wondering if we just see a trade here. Homeboys still making their way. Yeah, this is going to be way too fast. Hades knows it. They trade that first blood over for this first objective. Going to go ahead and secure themselves the Turtle for now. Going to force Zorn back as well. So, you know, NIP Flash able to go ahead and equalize the exchange.
What would you take, Naisu, if you were like in the place of these two teams, right? Would a kill be more prio for you, or would the Turtle be more prio?
That's a good question. I'm a mid lane main, so I'd probably go for a kill and hope that I got the kill. You know, like then I can scale up. Especially, I mean, considering the 2 mages here too. You know, Xavier, Farsa, either one of them, if they get an early kill, it's great for them. But the fact that it went to Chibi is actually even better.
So it's really, really good. The fact that they got the Hayabusa, someone that needs to scale up and needs to go for the snowball. Divine Judgment catching Udo straight into the fracture. Even with the wall charge, unable to disengage. Chibi gonna be caught, able to pop in the shadow kill onto Hades, but he finds a double kill and will be able to get the help of Diablo and Curtizi, who is rotated all the way from the XP lane all the way up top.
I'm going back to your question. You know, it's good that it went to Chibi. As you look at the STC replay here, this is what we talked about. Divine Judgment's going to be used. They get a kill with the Fracture, and then here comes Chibi. Luckily, he picked up the Sky Piercer right before that whole thing happened, so he was able to get another kill. And then, you know, it wasn't too crazy to deal with for Homeboys. So, interestingly enough, because now the Blade of Hephaestus is also in the hands of Hades, good flicker. They get the flicker out from Sapat, so that's fine for now. And again, you know, these are 2 lineups that they can work really good with the momentum that they're building in the early game. It's just really will come down to, once I feel like we get to mid-game, you'll have to see if NIP Flash plays around, how they play around once the Divine Judgment is gone here. So, you know, we're taking a closer look at things, of course, for Homeboys. Items coming up, item check. Nothing locked in for the first items just yet, aside from those junglers. Again, Skypiercer, only 1,500 gold. Locks that in early on, and will be interesting to see if Chibi goes just that pure damage build, or he even gets a little bit of defense, because really, you know, it's just withstanding this initial Divine Judgment. You can already see it. Lockdown happens. That's a Turtle traded for Homeboys.
Great Mystic Field. Great zoning, too, by Zorn. Able to occupy that bush a bit faster. And now, for both these teams, you know, they're just looking for the trades. Divine Judgment now into the Fracture of the Feather Airstrike as well. The Wild Charge knocks Diablo off. Final Slash to bring Udil to the last shot of the Feather Airstrike as Curtizi flies by. And Udil's still able to flicker around as Shadow Kill connects onto Hades. And Chibi will be able to quad Shadow out. Meanwhile, down below, all alone, Sapat just munching on that turret gold as NIP Flash continue with the invade. Diablo in the bottom lane now going for a little bit of a skirmish, but it's just to back Sapat away from this turret.
Okay, I mean, even with the play that they attempted in the mid lane, it was enough to also put some pressure on Nets. He had to be a little bit defensive, but luckily he has Zorn there now as well. to go ahead and keep him safe for now. But
mid lane, solo kill in the mid lane, assassination from Hades. In the bottom lane, a trade back as Diablo was ganked. 2 members falling on different sides of the map, but Hades, that's an item power spike. That's an SP.
He's got the Sky Piercer. He also, again, earlier, he had the Blade of Heptases, all right? So it just seems like Chibi is making good grounds too. He's got the Fury Hammer now, working on his next item, but you know, so far, both teams still trading across the map. This is gonna be a little bit of a gold lead now though for NIP Flash as they work around this. I think for Homeboys, man, you're going to be wanting to shut Hades down at this point because of, you know, I was saying earlier, Nolan, it's a little difficult when you're playing against this Drock and Ruby, but so far, Hades is perfectly fine.
Slowly but surely, it seems, you know, for both these teams, they're just taking it as slow as they can. They're trying to look for these trades, waiting for those item power spikes. And the way it's going right now, it does feel like for Homeboys, they should be able to scale up for Udil's power spike, but the fact that he's been picked off twice means that it's going to be quite tough for him to even reach that mid game. NIP Flash with Hades having a 2-level lead. This already goes against the statistics. JPO, what a read! Right into Zorn and right into everyone's damage to collapse. Now coming down, Diablo can be traded in, but Udil's going to be very low. Feather Airstrike, what a prediction from Curtizi. Great read on the pathing of Udil as JPL tries to go for the zone onto GB and Sapat. This is just a roamer, and he knows it. He wants to bait as many resources as he can from Homeboys with that maneuver.
Man, it's just like, I don't know, they're just both teams just trading after trade. You know, at this point, I'll get a kill, you get a kill. Now fighting for this third turtle. Who's going to get this one?
Let's see, that's going to be Chibi finding the retribution. Now it's going to be like inform from Nets, trying to go in. Not good, I'm offended to catch them. JPL taken down by Sapat as Diablo continues the vengeance onto Sapat now. The stun, resetting the vengeance straight into the passive. Hades walks up, picks up a monster kill, and it will just be a trade again. Chibi though, no, he won't be able to go for it. Nope. He jumps in onto Vanix. Curtizi now jumping in as well. The Sky Piercer execute does too much. Vanix cannot survive, and it will be another kill over to Chibi, 5-0.
I feel like this is at the point, you know, where both assassin junglers are just pointing at each other. Oh, mid lane, okay, he's going to be fine. But yeah, they're both just pointing at each other because they're both nearly doing the same thing. They're getting picks, they're using their kits really well, plus the items that they have early on. This is where these assassins shine. So I would say, again, one of the great things about NIP Flash's lineup is the fact for JPL, he is an on-demand pull into, you know, utilizing that Nolan from Hades. Whereas Homeboys, they can actually make it happen, but if it's a wild charge, great. Maybe Zoran's able to get the wild charge off, or you get a great I'm offended. But that on-demand pick-off potential, every time you see that green light for JPL, man, Divine Judgment is going to be able to make a play. Whether he has Flicker or not, here it is.
Wild charge into the Mystic Field. Zorn going to be taken down now as the Dawning Light connects onto the back line as well. Nets trying to go for the execute. Chibi finding Vanix. Nets able to flicker out to safety. It ends up being 1-for-1, but it's a gold lane for a roamer.
Yeah, gold lane for a roamer. Vanix having a little bit of difficult time on this Hearth, I think, just because of how chaotic things can get. But again, if we are able to go ahead and extend this game number 1 a little bit further than what we've seen at least today, you know, we're just a few minutes away from that point. But also looking at the gold difference here, relatively even for the most part, you know, aside from, like, junglers, again, are going to be crucial up to a certain point. And then I think you have to start to shift your focus on especially the mid lane. Udil has struggled a bit, you know, in comparison to Curtizi, being able to utilize those lockdowns, utilize the Dawning Light, but as the game goes on,
JPL unable to find a Divine Judgment. That's a pull onto Diablo, right into the Mystic Field. Now the final slash, the wall charge connects onto the back. 2 members knocked up. Vanix disappearing, the shadow kill, getting rid of the back line. GB picks up the double as the fracture, takes Nets out. Hades able to trade, but he has lost all of his teammates.
Yeah, but I mean, that's great that Hades picked something up off of that, but now look at this. I mean, this is already going to be a Lord locked in for Homeboys. I was just saying, man, the lineup that they have, you know, going toe for toe, but Homeboys just demolished NIP Flash in that exchange.
I've been saying, man, Homeboys, they're really good in the brawls. And for NIP Flash, they really need to slow their pace down. But let's take a look at this STC replay.
So good. Again, Dawning Light into the wild charge and then Shadow Kill. Look at the back lines here. Curtizi has nowhere to go. Chibi goes back, grabs the double. Good check from Hades. Like I said, he's going to be part of the big obstacle that Homeboys has to get over for now. But if they manage to get a kill, man. Oh,
onto Zorn. Divine Judgment, final slash, everything used up. It's a good pick-off. There's no trades on the board. Sapat is definitely looking for it, but he'll just be walking forward every single time. Now shadow kill. Not used just yet. Chibi gets out with a quad shadow. Barely. Almost gets punished. NIP Flash having a little bit of a flank right now, but nobody's really walking up.
And at this point, for both these teams, again, it's like which jungler is better? Which one is going to be able to pull this off continuously until eventually they get shut down? Malefic Roar, too, on Hades is what's making him just kind of cut through everything. The penetration is there, and it looks like for Chibi, picked up the BOD. So a little more defensive has to come on here for both teams if they want to withstand that initial burst. But still, JPL doing an amazing job on the pick-off potential with the Kaja. And then we'll have to start to shift as we get to this wild charge again.
Right into the Mystic Field, right into the Dawning Light. Now Hades forced back, but the shadow kill continues. And Hades gets out. JPL doesn't have that luxury, the same luxury to actually escape with those dashes.
Yeah, it doesn't get out, but it could have been way worse than they're able to survive. At least Hades doesn't go down. Dawning Light's dropped, and this is where the point now where, again, even if Udil struggled a little bit in the early game, look at him, he's got the 9 assists already. Dawning Light's already relatively on a low cooldown, and they just help push the waves in. The whole job is, all right, we're going to take control of this map. We're going to get these tier 2s down. Zorn's going to TP a little bit like we heard about, you know, and just get ready for the next objective in about a minute. But if they do this and they get all the space to work with, hey, Homeboys is happy.
Shadow kill on the Phoenix! Oh my goodness! Barely surviving. I thought for sure the Sky Piercer proc would have done it, but
I feel like it's a flex.
He gets out.
Yeah, you know, that's just, I'm here on your base.
Look at that damage.
Here's the damage. Be careful, right? I'm at this point, but Hades does the same thing. It's just, you know, he can't go ahead and use the quad shadows like a Hayabusa can. So all this relatively pretty much at a stalemate for now until this Lord does come up. And I think, again, this is where you see the Xavier pick start to shine. The great thing is for NIP Flash, if they have the initiation, whether that's now at this point for Diablo, he can flicker in, get the final slash, even if JPL doesn't land a Divine Judgment, or they just kind of reverse that and follow up through it. Interesting, too, some defensive items coming up. Athena Shield now for JPL. Conceal going to be used. They're going to find Sapat here.
Sapat, good pull with I'm offended straight into the wild charge, but the Purify gets him out. Diablo finding the final slash, unable to go for the follow-up. Vanix in the midst of it all, not right now. The Mystic Field catches the back line. Diablo going to be slayed by Chibi with the assassination with a shadow kill. Now Curtizi running for the hills. Chibi going to be able to dismantle Hades. A full-on fight, and it's Homeboys who get the dub everywhere. They're only able to trade for Udil, and now Vanix, the goal laner, is getting ran down by the XP. Has the Mon Force, able to turn it around for a bit, but now with Chibi rotating over, Chibi doing some damage. Vanix, able to find a double kill with the Zaman Force. Nets going back into the mid lane. Vanix versus Nets and Zorn, and he will have to concede the base turret, but he's already denied the Lord from Homeboys with that play.
Vanix has had enough. He's had enough of what's happened in the early portion of the game, and he goes and shuts down Chibi. And so both junglers went down in the whole exchange over the course of that. But man, by the hands of Vanix, they actually maintain what could have possibly been a push into the base even further. So Lord's still for the taking, and now it's just ultimately a reset.
Wild charge again. This time on the JPL is going to be burning down Nets with a Lycan Pounce, finding it. They're all onto the turret, or actually the Lord rather. Hades going for a Dawning Light. Oh, Zorn steals it away from NIP Flash. From the hands and the grasp of Hades, who was on it. He didn't get to retreat, he gets smacked in the face by Zorn. Homeboys are online.
That's a grok for you. That's Zorn. You wonder what he's been TPing for? It's for these moments right here. It takes the Lord, gets the cleanup kill, and now for Homeboys, they're going to be looking to march into possibly ending the game if possible. Curtizi does pick up a Divine Glaive. There's a couple crowns over here. They might be able to clear the waves out enough unless Homeboys forces this game to end here. Lord makes its way to the base.
It's a big Lord into the base. I'm offended, connecting on the JPL, bringing it back into the Mystic Field as well. The Divine Judgment catches him with the final slash, bringing Sapat all over to the base turret in the bottom lane. Still Chibi with a shadow kill, jumping back in front of the quad shadow. Sapat finding a double, Curtizi low. Doesn't have the feather airstrike. Spot turns him down, puts him down as well. He can go for the winner crown, but not for long as he gets caught under the Mystic Field. Homeboys strike first.